The sequel to 2014's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is here, and this time they are out of the shadows.
Here we go!
This is awesome!
Hang on, Mikey! Is it coming in kind of fast?
This review will contain spoilers, so be warned. The Turtles return with a mild facelift. Megan Fox, Will Arnett are back as well. Added are Stephen Amell as Casey Jones, Tyler Perry as Baxter Stockman, Brian T. as Shredder, and not to be forgotten Gary Anthony Williams and Sheamus as Bebop and Rocksteady. In this story, after Shredder breaks out of prison, he teams up with a mad scientist named Baxter Stockman to execute a plan to take over the world, and it will be up to the Turtles to stop them, something that will be much more difficult with the creation of mutants Bebop and Rocksteady who will be standing in their way. Now, going into films like this, I clearly know I am not the target audience. This is aimed for a new generation of kids to love these Ninja Turtles like I did when I was growing up. I also know the focus will be on the CGI and the marketing, not in the writing. So with that said, I usually hope to go into these summer popcorn flicks with the simple hope of just being entertained, something this sequel certainly did. I really enjoyed this film, and with my brain turned off, I didn't concern myself too much with the lack of cohesion in the story or some of the glaring plot holes. This new Turtle franchise has clearly worked on selling the next film in each one, but there's enough substance in them to not hinder the overall enjoyment, although it did diminish some of the impact. Stephen Amell as Casey Jones was a curiosity to me, but the thin origin story he was given in this script did make me want to see more, but it did so at the cost of making him kind of useless in this movie. The addition of Krang was a visual goldmine, but he simply shows up in the story and then leaves like a ghost in the wind with zero backdrop or development of any kind, so literally all you can do is sit back and focus on the computer rendition of his appearance rather than actually feel like he's a true character in this story. Also, Brian T. as Shredder was a nice change up from the first film, but like Amell, his character was not well written into the story, and he came across as wasted also. Bebop and Rocksteady were excellent in my opinion. Their look was fantastic. Williams and Sheamus were excellently cast in the roles. They make the characters and the visual appeal of these two guys were great, and they added some great action scenes as well. Arnett added some comedy also, as he was used much better in this storyline. As for Megan Fox, well, it's like they say, the world is a beautiful place, but it's more beautiful when you are, because this girl just cannot act. Anytime the film called on her to do anything other than walk like a model for a slow motion shot, it was just painful to watch. But the best thing about this film was the Turtles taking center stage in the script and their personalities expanding much more than they did in the first film. They felt much more like their cartoon ancestors this time around, and it made them much more likable, and I felt like I connected with them much more, which was nice given the story was so thinly written that it rarely compelled me at all. The comical banter between the group was surprisingly funny and a childish theme, and fortunately it doesn't take much for me to think like a 15-year-old, so I chuckled on a few occasions as the Turtles had their verbal back and forths. The action was ambitious and awesome for the most part. There were many eye-popping segments that kept the flow going. The CGI was impeccable with great angles that successfully immerses the viewer into the action, and other than a third act that was a little too similar to the first movie and a little overcluttered, this film lured me into the action many times and delivered hefty amounts of spectacular visuals. This sequel was more enjoyable than the first despite its flaws. It tried to fit a little too much into the storyline, but for a film to just sit back and go on a ride with, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows is a mouthful to say, but it's also a great time to watch, and I'll give it a B-. Being aimed for kids, I cannot see how they will not love this movie, so for that aspect, it's a complete success. There is enough fan service in this one to kind of tug on the nostalgia heartstrings of the older fans, and all the visuals, youthful personalities, and appeal that will have kids buying toys for years to come. I definitely recommend checking this one out if you're a fan of the Ninja Turtles, and the 3D was pretty good also if you don't mind putting the glasses on. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this review. Have you seen this one yet? What did you think? What did you like? What didn't you like? Let me know in the comments below. As always, if you like videos like this and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. Also, here are some links to some other recent reviews if you're interested in checking them out. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Anthony. This is the SilverScreen Analysis, and I'll see you at the movies.